now we'll shift our focus to kindergarten readiness. So in this section, we'll look at kindergarten readiness revised, or KRAR scores, of CPP tuition-assisted recipients who we followed into kindergarten. So the KRAR is one of the ways we understand CPP's impact on school readiness for children who receive CPP tuition assistance. Comprehensive research tells us that kindergarten readiness is predictive of later academic success, and that children entering kindergarten with a readiness gap are more likely to experience ongoing challenges. Research also shows that children who attend high-quality preschool demonstrate greater readiness for formal education. And we'll see this in the CPP evaluation data, which indicates that CPP-supported preschool experiences are laying the foundation for kindergarten readiness and later academic achievement. And the evaluation focuses on two measures of KRAR, that is the overall KRAR performance levels, which are from the list the highest emerging, approaching, demonstrating, and the second is the cutoff for language and literacy subtest, which indicates if the child is on track for literacy by the third grade. So here's our summary of the latest kindergarten cohort and comparison group. Each year we track CPP participants to CPS kindergartens. We evaluate their test scores in comparison to peers that did not receive that tuition assistance. During the 24-25 academic year, we had 783 participants with parental consent that were matched to KRAR scores. And these participants attended a CPP provider between the 22-23 and the 23-24 academic years. And these are demographics for the participants compared to 1,592 non-CPP who also completed the KRAR at CPS kindergartens. And the CPP cohort has more Black and African American students compared to non-CPP comparison groups. And they also more often reside in lower socioeconomic status areas represented by the SES 1 and 2 quartiles shown in the table. So as in previous evaluation years, we measured a social economic context with the SES quartiles, which are SES 1 to 4. This map here shows the geocoded KRAR cohort with the points color-coded by quartile. And what we need to understand from this is that SES quartiles allow us to estimate their social and economic conditions that may affect academics, behavior, and development. And that lower quartiles, like SES 1 and 2, represent areas with more risk factors, whereas the higher quartiles, like SES 3 and 4, represent areas with fewer. And the quartiles use 5 indicators for socioeconomic status listed in the slide, which factor in income, education, occupation, family structure, and crowding. And when we look at SES quartiles, it's important to understand that they don't represent SES of individuals, but rather average characteristics of families living within those areas. So here's our first look at the KRAR results between groups. This slide is an overview of the predictive qualities of CPP. Preschool promise participation was a statistically significant predictor of KRAR performance in year 8 when controlling for gender, race, and SES. It increased the odds of demonstrating readiness on the overall KRAR by 33.1%, and the odds of being on track for literacy by 62.9%. So we are continuing to see the benefits of CPP tuition assistance, as we have seen in previous cohorts, and especially after we account for these other related variables. And this shows the overall KRAR performance for the entire CPP kindergarten cohort, and this is regardless of other factors such as race or SES. This shows that participants had a combined approaching or demonstrating percentage of 68.3% compared to 58.5% of non-CPP. And these are the regions on the left of the chart shown in the 2 shades of green. And when we look at language and literacy subtest results in the chart on the right, we see a similar pattern. This shows that the 43.6% of participants were on track for literacy, compared to 37.9% of non-CPP. And here we move on to viewing K-rate performance in the context of SES quartiles. So this is where we begin to see the benefits of CPP participants that were living in high-risk neighborhoods. And as we've seen in previous years, the largest impact is among those living in SES 1 and 2 neighborhoods. And this figure shows that the participants in SES 1 and 2 were approaching or demonstrating readiness at greater frequencies than non-participants within the same quartile. But also among SES 3 in this year's cohort, which has been known to vary from year to year. But primarily for students who live in areas with a higher number of associated risks, CPP had a significant effect on their readiness for kindergarten. And for added context, more than 2/3 of the CPP participants in this year's cohort fell within SES 1 and 2. And then these findings were also true for language and literacy results. CPP TA participants in SES 1 through 3 were on track for literacy more often than their peers in the same quartile. And it's also a trend that CPP shows less of an impact than the higher SES quartiles like SES 4. The reason for this is believed to be due to the differences in access and resources. And remember that SES quartiles are based on where they live, but not telling us their individual economic circumstances. So we know that SES 3 and 4 families tend to have higher income, but we also know that preschool promise tuition assisted families are under 300% rural poverty level, with the majority of which being under 100% PL. And with that in mind, preschool promise kids in higher quartiles, especially SES 4, often differ from their non-CPP peers within the same quartiles. And here is a look at KRAR performance by race. We see performance varied by preschool promise participation within Black or African American, Hispanic, and multiracial students. Participants with these populations are more frequently approaching or demonstrating readiness compared to non-CPP kindergartners of the same race. And results for language and literacy were similar. Participants were more often on track compared to non-CPP among Black or African American, Hispanic, and multiracial students. And as seen in previous evaluation years, see that white kindergartners continue to score higher overall, but the relationship between CPP and non-CPP remains reversed. This is believed to be due to well-documented differences in income levels, similar to the differences in SES 4. White families living below poverty are likely overrepresented among CPP participants compared to their non-participating peers because of CPP TA's income eligibility requirements. So now we broadened our view. We looked at results in a context that extends outside of Cincinnati. In the box highlighted, yellow shows all CPS-related results, including CPP TA participants, non-participants, and the rates for the entire district. And when we compare participants against the entire district and other similar districts in the state, we see participants are approaching or demonstrating readiness at higher levels. And this chart shows differences ranging from 8.3 to as high as 24 percentage points. And for example, CPP participants are approaching or demonstrating at 68.3% compared to 45% of Dayton, which is a difference of 23.3 percentage points. And that relationship is also present when we look at language and literacy results. Specifically, the CPP participants were more frequently on track compared to all the other districts listed here. And going back to our example, CPP participants are on track at 43.6% compared to 21.2% of Dayton, with a difference of 22.4 percentage points. And this slide is just a highlight of trends in kindergarten readiness over the lifespan, preschool promise. CPP tuition assistance recipients have consistently scored higher in kindergarten readiness than non-recipients since 2018, We've also consistently seen that participants in high-risk neighborhoods have shown better KRAR performance compared to non-CPP peers living in similar areas. And lastly, participation has continued to have the greatest impact on Black and Hispanic preschoolers. But at this point, we'll be moving on beyond kindergarten. So in recent years, we've been tracking CPP TA participants enrolled at CPS elementary schools up to 3rd grade. And what we're looking at here are higher standardized test results in English language arts that were administered at CPS schools. Left bar represents the 499 former CPP TA participants who we linked to CPS records. And the other two show aggregate CPS results obtained from state data. And when we compare CPP TA kids to similar peers, in which case would be the students meeting the state's definition of economic disadvantage, the participants are performing very similar in terms of proficiency. We don't see the same relationship when we compare them to the full district, but that also includes a much more socioeconomically diverse population. And this chart displays the test for math for 3rd graders. We matched scores to 494 in this case. Again, we see the same stories told here. We found the participants perform comparably to the economic disadvantage in terms of proficiency. And you see the relationship with full district mirrors that of ELA scores. You'll also notice these follow-up scores are from the 23-24 school year, so this analysis lags a year due to the release schedule of the Department of Education's district report cards. At the time of this analysis, the 24-25 reports were not yet available, but we will be able to share those results in next year's evaluation. We also conducted additional follow-up analysis using iReady diagnostic scores. So this analysis included scores for former CPP participants that attended 1st, 2nd, or 3rd grade in 2023 and 24 school year. And here we are comparing iReady reading scores of CPP TA kids from baseline to follow-up, fall to spring, to assess their growth. And these are compared to national norms via their percentile scores. And you'll see the results are shown in terms of 5 groups of percentile ranges, known as quintiles. And if you focus on the areas shaded in blue, you can see the percentage of participants in the top 3 quintiles increase in all 3 grades. And this indicates growth of reading within the context of national norms. And now we're looking at the iReady math for the same cohort. You can see that 1st and 2nd graders in top 3 quintiles did not show growth, while 3rd graders showed a slight increase. Though 3rd graders showed some growth, 1st and 2nd graders were still in the top 3 quintiles at a higher frequency overall. But in all 3 grades, quintiles for math remain very similar from baseline to follow-up, showing much less change than iReady reading data did. And of course, it's important to remember maintaining percentiles over time should not be mistaken for a lack of growth. Rather, they grew at pace with peers in the same percentile groups to maintain their position relative to others their age. And in addition, other contextual factors are inevitably going to influence performance. For instance, the 3rd graders of this cohort would have attended kindergarten at the height of the pandemic, and although some recovery has been noted in Ohio since COVID, it has been slower for math. So in summary, the follow-up data indicates there is remaining potential for growth, especially in math. And as we accrue more data over the years and improve our sample, we can improve our understanding of the long-term impacts of CPP-TA. For example, continuing to monitor these 1st and 2nd graders in the next evaluation year will support further understanding of their growth and proficiency. And if these students completed an iReady assessment the following year, we'll have the opportunity to reevaluate their growth results. So at this time, I'm going to pause for questions.
what the attendance rate is at CPS in those early grades?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Do you want me to repeat that?
I heard, yeah.
Okay.
The attendance rate.
Attendance rate.
Are you talking about for grades 1 to 3? Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
No.
K to, yeah.
Yeah, we don't receive that information, but that would be a good consideration moving forward, to add a little more context.
I'll just add one thing. Anytime we have looked at attendance and we looked at mobility, it has been related to academic outcomes. It's been related to academic outcomes. Mobility, which is the number of times that a student changes schools, and attendance has been related to academic outcomes.
Any other questions?
Well, if there are no other questions, I'm going to hand this off to Dr. Cole.
All right, this next section of our presentation is called Reach and Access, and it's about, at a high level, who CPP is serving and where, and the capacity of the providers in the service area to serve the 3 and 4-year-olds. So these slides will give us more details about the preschool enrollment and community provider growth numbers that we heard about in the annual impact report. So first, as we've seen, the tuition assistance enrollment number has increased over the years. This graph shows that we've reached 1,090 children served in the community provider network in 2024-2025, which is the highest level to date. We've also seen regular attendance improve. Since 2017, attendance has increased by 5.7 percentage points, reaching 89.1% this year. And so here we get to see the preschoolers that the CPP community providers served in 2024-2025. These were 471 3-year-olds and 619 4-year-olds who were primarily children of color, English speaking, and nearly half from families who were living below 100% of the federal poverty level. These preschoolers are plotted on the map of Cincinnati and color-coded by SES quartile. The tan neighborhoods represent quality gap neighborhoods, which are the areas that are high in socioeconomic risk factors and low in supply of high-quality preschool seats. We see large concentrations of students living in those areas of the city, with the majority of them, about 77%, residing in the SES 1 and 2 areas, as shown by those red and yellow dots on the map. So now we'll look at the CPP community provider network and how it has grown over the past 8 years. So this map shows us how the network looked in year 1, with a total of 66 providers around the city. And the tuition assistance providers are plotted in the blue diamonds, and the quality improvement providers are in the red dots. We fast forward to this year, and we see that the network has grown to 208 providers. And over these years, the CPP Community Provider Network has added 116 tuition assistance providers, and 135 providers have achieved a high-quality rating and converted to tuition assistance providers through the quality improvement coaching and professional development supports that CPP provides to the participating providers in this network. This slide is a summary of the number of quality and high-quality seats in the CPP community-based network as of year 8. We see the total seat capacity for community-based providers is estimated at 3,749, of which nearly half of those are located in quality gap neighborhoods. This year, 9 new tuition assistance providers joined the network and added high-quality seats for preschoolers to the network. Additional data was also acquired from 4C, which contained estimates of total program enrollment, or this is also seats filled. and that showed that 2,330 preschoolers were enrolled at CPP community-based providers. And this total preschooler enrollment number includes CPP and non-CPP participants, and it helps us to understand the broader reach and impact of CPP funding to the entire classroom. This data also will allow us to monitor trends in enrollment relative to seat capacity in the years to come. This map shows all of the high quality or silver and gold providers in the CPP CPS footprint. So you'll see that the community-based tuition assistance providers are the blue triangles. The CPS tuition assistance preschools are in the red triangles, and then other unaffiliated high-quality preschools are in green. So the total number of high-quality providers at the time of this analysis was 231. And together, the CPP community-based and CPS preschools make up 85% of the high-quality providers in the footprint. So that leaves just 34 unaffiliated high-quality providers marked in those green triangles on the map. So as we begin to conclude our presentation, these next two slides highlight some of CPP's achievements over the last 8 years, many of which we've heard about today. The data collected over these years has indicated sustained and increased impacts of CPP. And these aren't just numbers, they represent real people and kids that have been impacted. So what we've seen is that CPP has supported nearly 13,300 preschoolers with tuition assistance to attend high-quality preschool. CPP tuition assistance has been a statistically significant predictor of kindergarten readiness, showing the greatest impact on children from high-risk neighborhoods as well as Black and Hispanic preschoolers. Over the years, CPP has expanded the community-based network and access to high-quality preschool, as we just saw. It has also supported teachers and providers through grants that have impacted quality and teacher retention and provided CPP Plus programs that promoted learning and parent engagement. So thank you all for your time and dedication to this mission and this work. We'll take any questions that you have now.
Any questions? Thank you. Well, let me express our thanks to the entire innovations team. You all have truly been a partner since day one. And while we've known since before we started that there's decades and decades of research that what we are doing works and pays off for students in the community, watching you all be able to put it together in a way that really demonstrates how we specifically are benefiting students here in this community is tremendously valuable, and also kind of fun to see the progress of. I remember the first several years we talked about, well, one day we'll get third grade data and we'll be able to really look at that, and now we've got it up and we can see it, and it's really a nice thing to be able to hold ourselves accountable and share with the public the way in which we are being good stewards of their funds to impact more students than ever this year. So thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. Kenitra, thank you for coordinating that as well. Next, we've got some team members we want to recognize. I'm going to turn that over to you, Shara.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. And you know, we want to start out with our Promise Team recognition, and by all of you being in this room, you are a member of the Promise Team now officially. So everybody should have a lapel pin that they had at their seat. Wear it with pride. We also brought lots of Preschool Promise items with you. Please, anything you see, please take it with you. If you saw a swag item that you didn't get and someone else got it, let a member of the Promise Team that has the official name tag know. We will get that for you because we want everybody to help us keep the promises. And so now I'd like to take a moment and acknowledge some members of my staff team who are going to come up and do some recognitions of the extended Promise Team. So we will start with our Director of Community Engagement, Florence Malone-Crump.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Look, Marcia almost got a special recognition, but okay. So I would like to start by recognizing all of our community providers in our network for the 2025 to 26 school year. At this current time, we have 80 centers, 121 FCCs, and 7 parochial schools. Please give them a hand. The extra number that I will add in with a combination of all the organizations that we work with, right now, Preschool Promise, we have enrollment of 756 children. In addition, I would like to recognize some of our providers that are here. They are our 25-26 Provider Council. Probably about 5 years ago, Cincinnati Preschool Promise started to conduct what we call is our CPP Provider Council. And so we meet once a month. Every time Cincinnati Preschool Promise has a decision or something that needs to be said or done or changed, we don't actually make the decision ourselves. We consult with our provider council and get their input because we want this to be about our providers and our families and not about CPP as a whole because they are CPP as a whole. So today I would like to recognize, I'll start, a couple of people are not here. So Victoria Alexander, she is the owner of Gingerbread House. We have Robin Perkins. Miss Robin, you want to stand? Okay. Who is the FCC provider? We have Gina Poole, who is a center owner. Sheila Solomon, thank you, who is an FCC. We have Fatima People, who is the owner of Champion Center. We have Julie Shabazz, who is an FCC, also known as Nurse Julie. We have Monica Thompson, who is the FCC provider. And we have Shanda Gray, Gray's Creative Learning Center. And so I wanted to introduce them because anytime a provider has something that they need to discuss or want this promise to know, we want them to feel comfortable going to the Cincinnati Provider Council, talking to them, bringing it back to us, because sometimes they might not feel comfortable speaking with us, but they always can go to our Provider Council. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. I'd like to now introduce Brittany Pina, who is our Director of Quality Education.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good to see you guys, and thank you for attending our annual meeting. I'm so excited to announce the 2025 Coach of the Year. Cincinnati Preschool Promise is pleased to honor Sierra Quinn. Sierra is new to our coaching collaborative, but she jumped right in and hit the ground running with supporting mostly our parochial schools as well as our FCC programs. Sierra, your unwavering, goading effort and dedication to helping community child care providers in Cincinnati achieve and sustain high quality is truly commendable. The Cincinnati Preschool Promise deeply appreciates your work, your hard efforts, and your ability to embody our mission to expanding access to quality preschool. So please help me honor Sierra Quinn as the 2025 Coach of the Year.
We like this, we show our appreciation hard here for some reason. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now it's time for me to recognize the members of the Promise team that I work with every day, and I'd like them just to stand. You've met most of them. Kenesha Mathis, who is our Deputy Director, Hector Polanco, who is our Finance Director, Kenya Dalvale, who is our Senior Administrative Director, Brittany Pina, who is just here, our Director of Quality Education, Florence Malone Crump, our Director of Community Engagement, Amber Mitchell, our Outreach and Enrollment Parent Specialist, Lindsay DeBlasi, who is our Provider Specialist, Sydney Israel, who I think may still be outside, who is our TA Provider Coordinator and who greets you at every meeting, and also Flora Carr, who is our Communications Consultant. Anytime you see us in the press, in print, in any award, that is thanks to that lady right there, Laura Carr. So please, these are the people that power the Promise and make sure that all of this happens. If we could give them a round of applause, that would be well done, team. Well done. And to introduce the newest member of the Promise team is Teddy the Turtle. So we have Teddy the Turtle t-shirts that will be available, but you have to come to the October meeting to get them. Our life-size Teddy will be here in a week. And by life-size, really is the size of the turtle. And we have activity sheets related to Teddy the Turtle and special preschool Promise crayons that we will be sharing with our youngest learners because Teddy is on his own path and journey. He is steady at his own pace to get ready for kindergarten. Right? Right.
Thank you, Shara. On behalf of the board, I also want to express our thanks for the staff. The same comments I made earlier about the board and people returning for duty that have been at this a long time, just kind of watching you all stand up and thinking about the contributions you've had over the organization and the arc of its history, and Flo, Brittany, Hector, the consistency that you all have provided for so long to us now, and there are other members who have come at various points along the way and been with us for a while too, and even to the newest folks. The results that we just saw about how we're impacting more students than ever right now is truly because of you and because of the work that you do every day. Wake up and come here and help make the dream come true. And want you to know how much the staff is appreciated by the board, how grateful we are. And that also is in large part because of you, Shara, the conductor of the symphony, the master of the chaos. And I know you know that this board appreciates you and is grateful for the work that you do, but want to make sure that at this meeting it's said and that it's heard by all that we feel we have the greatest CEO of any nonprofit in the country. We are tremendously grateful for the work and the ridiculous hours that you pull to make sure that we are able to serve more and more children and make this community a better place. Please know how grateful we are. Let us express our thanks to you for that.
We are so appreciative of that, and as a board, you make my job easy, as does this team. And so I'm going to bring this home because you all know this is my happiest time of the year, right? It is Preschool Promise Month, and we started with Preschool Promise Day, and then we went to Preschool Promise Week, and I said, you know, we got to have a month, right? So here we are. So the last thing that we want to share with you today is that we have one more piece, right? We did some different things with our annual report, but you will see this new piece called Everybody's Talking, right? So you're about to get this. What's inside of Everybody's Talking is our infographic that we do every year that tells us the progress that we made in one single select, right? You get that snapshot to see what's happened in the last 8 years. It also on the back has a detailed thank you to our sponsors and supporters because we are always appreciative of them. And on the front panel, we talked about Everybody's Talking. You know, we are talking about quotes. We have different things here that say snapshots Some data that you don't normally see regularly, like there are 8 members of the Pay Ready Alliance that are doing this work around the country with us. There are 9,000 Smart Start backpacks that are part of our CPP Plus initiative. And together, what we know with Cincinnati Public Schools is that our network serves almost 60% of all of the youngest learners in our community. That's what we've been able to do together. And we're not quite there, but that starts to look a little bit more like universal preschool, right? And that's where we're hoping to go. So everybody is talking, right? But what we want to do is to have you keep talking. So this in traditional format is my call to action to all of you. Make sure that you take a look at this and take pride in the accomplishments that we've achieved together. Also, take a look at our brand new website. So refreshed, redone. If you use that QR code that's posted there, you can get directly to it. We thought we should do a refresh, right? So that we look shiny and new and appealing. And it is really designed to be functional so that all of our stakeholders and partners can see it, but also that it's appealing to the eye and you can find all of our information there. So please take a look at that, sign up for our newsletter on it, share it with other people, and also invite us as members of the Promise team, and we'll even bring Teddy with your networks, with your community councils, anywhere you are where someone needs to hear about preschool and the impact that we're having together. You invite us and we come. We bring slide decks, we bring toys, we bring crayons. Any member of our team can show up. We had a really intense Speakers Bureau session, and we'll have additional ones of those, and everybody that wants to be on the Promise team feels empowered to go and talk about the impact that this work has. What you'll also see at a stand-up on your tables about the gallery wall, these are the posters and reflections of what we think are emerging issues in early education, and also our partners, from 4C for Children to Learning Grove, to the Black Child Development Institute to Swayze. What we'd like you to do as part of our next step of strategic planning and strategic direction is you will see some Post-its on that table over there. Tell us what you think. Did you hear anything today that's inspiring you? Do you see some of these issues that you say, this is what I think we can do to address this? We need to hear from you because what powers the Promise is all of us together as a community. And so we really, really want to hear from you about that. Also notice where we've been. When we say everybody's talking, you also all have a copy of Parent Magazine at your seat that has the full listing of our provider network. Because when we say we share and talk about the Promise, it's not just the people in this room, it's the providers, the educators that are also doing the work. So we thought we'd give you a snapshot of what this was too, right? And last but not least, it is important to remember that we are in a season of a ballot initiative. And so you will all also see at your faces our Renew Issue 28 fact sheet so that you know the impact that that's going to have. You will see information and snapshot here on the website as well. We have postcards throughout the room that are talking about Renew. The only way that we can continue to keep the promise, to protect the investments that have been made, and to continue to make true the promise of an opportunity for every child to have a strong foundation is if we all are cognizant of what's happening in November, right? So take the leap with me to make sure that we are prepared to keep the promise, that we make sure that early education is affordable, accessible, and available in our community to give our children the strong foundation that they need. And with that, that is a snapshot of our 24-25 year. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shara. Do we have any comments from observers this evening? I do want to acknowledge that we have 2 new observers who are joining us, Gary Davis from Promise Forward and Michael Guston from CPS. I think Gary's here, is that right? Thank you for joining us. Any other comments from observers? Yeah.
I have been a part of Preschool Promise since its inception and here in this ways, and I just wanted to tell you guys, congratulations on the job. We appreciate this out here in the field. It's hard, but it's nice to have some support of some people that believe in us and look forward to us carrying on the promise of engaging our preschoolers and our infant and toddlers to make them
Thank you. Darren,
Do you want me to stand up or am I loud enough?
I can hear you, the AV
Okay.
folks, man.
I
You're
just
good?
wanted to
Okay.
say congratulations and thank you to Innovations for a wonderful annual report with CPP. I want to give special thanks to Shar for joining me last week at the Cincinnati Public Schools Board meeting and presenting with me. It was greatly appreciated. And I will take the lead with you. And yes, I'm renewing number 28.
There you go. Thank you. What?
I wanted to say quickly, the Learning Grove, we were able to serve over 100 children through Preschool Promise, and we could not do what we do without your support, not only for the children directly, but also for Char's leadership throughout the state. And she is always there, as you mentioned. I can text her on the weekends, evenings, anytime, that means a lot to me personally, to know that I have somebody like Shara helping, trying to keep our head above water. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members have comments or things on your mind? Can you introduce yourself?
After hearing the presentation from Innovation, I just wanted to personally say thank you to Florence Malone, Amber, and Sydney, Rick Pina, and Lindsay for your hard work, because you are the fuel that supports our providers, and also to all of the providers in the room. Collectively, you guys are literally the power and the force that actually produce the numbers that were in the annual report and the numbers that were in the evaluation. So you guys are literally the glue and the fuel that actually drives the impact of what we do. So thank you guys for actually what you do that motivates and fuels the impact of CPP. You guys actually motivate me to get up every day to help and push out the evaluations, the numbers, the data. So I really appreciate what you guys do. You make it easy to actually look at the numbers and make it happen. And thank you to all of the providers that are here today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for getting up and actually making learning fun for the babies. We enjoy coming into your classroom. We enjoy supporting you. You make it easy to come here every day, so thank you. And thank you guys for just everything you do. I want to make sure you guys know that you really do fuel the promise. So thank you. And Shara, like this, you guys are amazing. Because you keep the vision going and you make it easy to do the work. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or thoughts?
As a founding member of CPP, I've been around a long time. And I've seen a lot of things, and I know a lot of things. No, no, but seeing the drive behind what everybody does and the appreciation that you hold for what you do every day, everyone in this room, whether you're on the board, whether you're with the innovations team, whether you're on the Preschool Promise team, you are part of this team here. We came together in 2016 in order to make a difference. And I've seen such a difference made in the lives of the children that we touch every day. And that is the promise that we made. When we were sitting in churches, making plans for what was going to be called Preschool Promise, we didn't know where it was going to go. We didn't know how many lives it was going to touch. We didn't know how many providers were going to excel in what they already do every day. They're already quality. We didn't know what was going to happen, but we knew we had to do something. There was a call to action, and we had to stand up and take precedence over what was happening in the world. Now, there's so many other things happening in the world. It's gonna go on and on and on. And we have to stay in the fight. We have to stay in the march. And like Micah said, you know, some of those things, some of those people that are sitting at this table, we do it from our hearts. And we've done it from 2013 is when I went to my first meeting. We hit the ground, but we hit the bullseye too. And I want to thank you all for being in this room. From 4C for Children, from Learning Grove, that wasn't even around when I was, when I started. Is that right, Patty? Okay. Yeah, but seeing what has come out of it, and the passion and the love that we have for what we do every day. Please keep it moving forward. Thank you.
I just wanted to add my thanks as well to the staff and to the partners. Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, and your staff. Every year you give us so much great information about the difference that we're making. But also, and primarily to the providers in the room, I don't know if you realize how valuable you are. I was that working mom that needed a place for my kids, but I also wanted a place for my kids where they could learn, because I had a mother that demanded that we was learning early. And so I wanted the same for my kids. I have 3 kids. They went through preschool. 2 of them went to Miss Terry over there. So we've been doing it for a while, but you all make a difference. You're an economic engine for our community because you allow families to go to work, know that their children are cared for, know that they're nurtured, and also know that they are learning and being prepared for life. And that's so very important. And even as I look at the next generation, I've had 2 grandchildren already come through some of the preschool promise centers, 2 of them already, one at Ted Berry and one at Learning Grove in Price Hill. And looking forward to the next one that's 7 months old, so he'll be along here in a minute. And so you provide that way for parents to know that their kids are safe and learning and getting what they need while they go to work and earn a living. So thank you so much for your service.
Any other comments around the table? I'll just be brief and conclude with my excitement for this year. The start of the school year, which I guess we're still in, although I guess we're in October tomorrow, is a time of just so much excitement for the work that we do. There's no reason to believe that when we're sitting here next year that the team will not deliver on something as great as the report that we just got, and likely something even stronger, I'm sure. And simultaneously, I'm so excited for the group of people we have around this table, stalwarts who are returning, and new folks who are joining, and old faces who are returning. Cheryl would like to hear describe her as an old face. So, old all-stars, former all-stars on our board returning. Sorry, Cheryl. It's a great group of people and a great team, and the right team for a year in which I think will require significant decisions to be made over the next 5 and 10 years of Preschool Promise and what it will look like. An important discussion to have with the community over the next 6 weeks or so, and then an important discussion for us to have around the boardroom over the next 5 and 10 years. So looking forward to jumping into that with all of you, and looking forward to continuing to do this work. So thank you everyone for a wonderful year. I believe next year will be even stronger, and on behalf of the staff and the board, let me thank all of you who came tonight from the public to hear about what we're doing and to continue to be a part of the success that we're doing. So thank you so much. Our next meeting is October the 28th. All are welcome to join for those two. They're maybe not quite as fun as this meeting, but still fun, and you're welcome to join. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Ms. Terry, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Pamela. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Remember to get Tanya your blue sheet if you're able to before you get out the door.
And if I could ask all of our board members to just come up